What is going on, everybody? So we are currently 5 days out from starting our annual December Color Model Challenge, which in short is a physique photoshoot preparation with the end goal of being in true peak condition. Now, we have run these preparations between 2 and 3 times per year, every year since 2020. Now, the results our clients have accomplished on these preparations has been outrageous over the years, yet each and every year, we've still somehow managed to set the bar higher and higher with every single shoot, producing even more ludicrous results than the last, and this year is no exception. Now, every year I have chosen one of the shoots to participate in myself, as it gives me an opportunity to almost lead from the front, tighten the screws and set the example. And this year I'm jumping on the December preparation, and it's fair to say that things are a little bit different this year, as this is my first preparation whilst living out here in Dubai. So I figured that I would document my journey, pull back the curtain, so to speak, and show you what goes on behind the scenes on the run-up to a physique photo shoot. So without further ado, let's begin the brand new video series. That's a wrap! Now, starting out, as you can see, I'm certainly not in bad shape right now whatsoever. I hold a pretty decent standard year-round, which is something that I do in fact pride myself on. I don't really do off-seasons so much these days. I don't have big, elaborate build phases. I mostly just focus on holding the standard, enjoying flexibility and freedom, and then subsequently managing the damage. However, it is time to activate prep mode and dial in the body fat to single-digit ab-vein territory for the shoot that is taking place in December. Now, I am currently weighing in at 190 pounds. I'm 6 feet tall for reference, and going on past experience, I need to be sitting at around 180 pounds or below to hit peak shape, which means that I've roughly got around 10 pounds or more to lose on this preparation, which equates to just shy of 1 pound per week over the 12-week prep. Now, many of the clients on this preparation have a much steeper mountain to climb, many which have, 20 or 30 pounds to lose, meaning their severity of deficit and their trajectory of loss is far steeper than mine. Many will need to lose upwards of 2 to 3+ pounds per week on this preparation, which is no easy feat. However, with the right strategy, consistency and action taking, it is more than possible, and we have seen this play out time and time again. Now, given that I'm pretty in tune with my body at this stage, I've been training for well over 15 years. Here's what I know. At 2,500 calories, 10,000 daily steps, and 4 to 5 workouts per week lifting weights, I pretty much hold myself at maintenance. So here's the math. It takes roughly around 3,500 calories to burn a single pound of body fat, which means if I'm to simply eat 500 calories less per day than my current maintenance calories, and at the level of expenditure that I'm currently doing, that should equate to 1 pound of fat loss every 7 days. However, given that those are very fine margins and not every morsel of food that you consume and track is truly accurate, I want to throw caution to the wind and also increase my expenditure for good measure to ensure that we are in fact creating the deficit. So step count here will be bumped up to 15,000 steps per day. Now, this should roughly equate to a further 250 calories burned per day. Now, this should almost certainly see me in the appropriate level of deficit that I need for the rate of loss that I am looking for. Now, this is a basic fat loss trajectory setup that we do with every single client starting their transformation journeys. However, doing the math is one thing. The reality of the outcome is often different depending on fluctuations in weight, consistency, of course, of action taking and execution, plus various other factors. That said, doing this basic setup exercise is certainly a good place to begin to know that you are starting on the right foot. Now, often when setting up my nutrition plan, I'll implement a calorie cycle to allow for more calories to be allocated at the weekend, allowing for greater flexibility and freedom on a Saturday and a Sunday, which often are the days that we want them most, you know, throughout the working week. I just find it's easier to grind it out with a little less calories and follow the structure and consistency of a rigid plan. However, for the purpose of this prep, I'll be following a rigid linear diet, meaning I'll be eating the same calories, the same meal plan day in, day out with no fluctuations throughout the week. Now this for me just simply minimizes the moving parts and allows us to, I suppose, more accurately understand the byproduct of our implementations, making it easier to course correct should we need to. Now, in short, for me, it is time to activate monk mode, as I'll often refer to it as. No cheat meals, no off-plan treats, just simply following the plan to the letter and doing the necessary. Now, this should only be necessary in the 12-week preparation. If you're on a longer fat loss journey, we can be much more flexible. Now, here is a screenshot of my initial nutrition plan, including all of the meals, the calories and the macros, etc. So screenshot this if you'd like to, and if you want to have a more in-depth look at my food meal by meal, including timings and whatnot, then keep posted for my full day of eating whilst on this prep video, which I will be dropping really soon. Now again, I'm going to break this section down in much more detail with a series of session by session walkthrough videos where I'll take you to the gym with me on each of these workouts. I'll break down the execution of the exercises, the tempos, the reps, any tips, tricks and advice that I have for you for getting the most out of your time in the gym when you are training. But here's a quick overview of how things are going to look for me. So on Monday, we have chest and back session 1. On Tuesday, we have legs. Wednesday, arms and shoulders, session 1. Thursday, we have core. Friday, we have chest and back, session 2. Saturday, we have arms and shoulders, session 2. And then on a Sunday, we have a rest day. So here's a little more context for the setup of this training program. Now, firstly, for me, training chest and back together works wonders. I often struggle with pre-existing shoulder injuries that often flare up on push workouts. So in recent times, I've aimed to break up my push exercises with pull exercises. Now for me, this not only takes the pressure off of my shoulders, allowing for that extra kind of recovery time between exercises, but in many ways, the pull movements after a push movement almost kind of resets and realigns my shoulders, which feels incredible after going heavy and hard on the push exercises. Now, I'd also say that the feeling of a chest pump coupled with a back pump just feels incredible. It's like you're expanding from the front and the back, and it really works for me. Now, I'm going to be hitting this session twice per week for optimal stimulus in those areas, whilst equally allowing optimal recovery times between those sessions, which is the same principle for my arms and shoulder workouts. Now, these are areas that I really want to focus on and develop, so they too also get a second outing in my program. They get hit twice per week. Now, as for legs, I hate training legs as much as the next guy, but it is imperative. Legs are the foundation of any physique. Now, sure, I should probably give them more volume, almost certainly. But which psychopath trains legs twice in 1 week? Plus, they're not an area that, you know, I'm hell-bent on growing. They certainly could be bigger, but I'm okay with them. So once per week will do the trick for me. Oh yeah, and there's also the core day. And now for me, as much as anything, I almost see this as an active recovery day, an opportunity to get into the gym without breaking down the other areas that need recovery. Now, I've never trained core specifically, and I'm not saying that it doesn't have its benefits, but I often see people throwing them in for the, I suppose, aesthetic benefit of kind of building their abs. But we know that abs are made in the kitchen, and the consistency of your training and your expenditure, that's what's going to reveal your abs. But I'm putting in this core session to firstly see what impact it has and what difference it makes to the look of my midsection, but also to try and help improve my stability and hopefully help kind of, you know, with my lower back health, which I've struggled with for many, many years. So we'll see what outcome that provides. Now, before I wrap up this brief program introduction to start executing the mission and documenting as much of this process as possible, I wanted to briefly touch on my mindset going into this process. Now, for many people, these preparations are a significant step towards personal development and growth. They act as the ideal opportunity to go all in, pay off a whole heap of fat debt, prove to themselves what they are truly capable of, and throw themselves into the process once and for all. A process in which perhaps for many years now they were simply dipping their toe in. The mere prospect of the shoot, of, stepping in front of the lens surrounded by a group of guys and girls that have equally been on this endeavor with you, massively increases the stakes, as there is now, a genuine fear of failure, which pushes you to step out of your comfort zone and take massive action. As once the prep begins, that clock is ticking, the days are counting down, and there is no "I'll start on Monday." Every single day on this preparation counts, and that level of drive pushes you into a state of unstoppable momentum with an unshakable vision for yourself, which in many ways bleeds into other areas of your life and shows you what you can do, when you channel your energy and your focus. For me, however, this ain't my first rodeo. I've been preparing for shoots just like this every single year since 2013. And one thing is for sure, the amount of energy, motivation, and drive that you have through a preparation like this is like nothing else. You are more time efficient because you have to be. When there are boxes to be ticked, you have to dial in your schedule and your routine to ensure that you can tick them. And that level of efficiency simply makes life better across the board because you are now in control. You are in the driving seat. You're controlling the day, and you are building that reputation that you have with yourself by continually stacking wins and ultimately keeping the promises that you make to yourself. And with that, your confidence grows, and that makes you better at work, better at home, better parent, better, whoever. Everything in life, it makes you better. So for me, these preps simply kind of draw that line in the sand to dial in with razor sharp focus and get back to firing from all cylinders. Guys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please drop me a like or a comment and subscribe if you want to keep updated, and join me for the next video in the series where I'll be showing you through a full day of eating whilst on this preparation. I'll catch you in the next one.